Chapter 81. The Fight Between Tier 5 Part 1. Should I visit the other two kingdoms? He mutters to himself. Doing nothing in this empty capital is really making me lose my mind. Before the thought lingers too long, a ripple distorts the air, and Valeth materializes before him. His presence as silent as ever. His expression remains neutral, but Alex can sense the weight behind his words. Your Majesty, there's been a mishap in Dalan City, Valeth reports. A spy managed to slip past the shadows and sent a message using some kind of device before they eliminated them. The enemy likely knows about Varkas now. Alex simply nods, unfazed. That's fine, he says, his tone calm. They'll probably send another group, this time with a Tier 5. He leans forward slightly, resting his chin on his hand. Let them prepare. As for Varkas, a small smirk tugs at his lips. He's probably going to be thrilled that he gets to fight again. Valeth remains composed, but there's a flicker of understanding in his gaze. Just like usual, Alex continues. You and the shadows will survey the area. If there's anyone lying in wait, take care of it before they make a move. Valeth bows his head slightly. Understood, Your Majesty. With that, he vanishes as silently as he came, leaving Alex alone once more. But now there's a shift in his mood. Soren stands atop the wall, surveying the army assembled before her. The battlefield may have settled for now, but war is far from over. The moment she received the report, she wasted no time. Prepare the troops, she had ordered without hesitation. Now her forces stand ready. An army of 14,000 monsters, each one stronger than before. The recent additions, 4,000 more who chose to join, are no longer the same beings they once were. After training in Finger of the Death God, they have begun their transformation. Their bodies radiate a dark aura, their eyes sharper, their movements eerily precise. And now, the enemy stands before them once more. Soren's eyes narrow as she takes in the sight. 20,000 humans, same numbers as before, but this time the insignias are different. Multiple noble houses, a coalition, but none of that matters, because floating above them, defying gravity itself, is a man. A human. No, not just any human. A Tier 5. The sight sends a ripple of unease through the monster ranks. The existence of a Tier 5 has always been nothing more than a distant legend to them. Something spoken of in hushed whispers, a power so overwhelming that it seemed almost unreal. And yet, here he is, hovering, just like in those legends. A deep, growling voice rumbles beside Soren. He flies. She doesn't turn. I see it. Another monster shifts uneasily. Commander, how do we fight that? Soren crosses her arms. We don't need to fight it. Do you still don't have any faith in our kingdom? Even after you all saw the capital city. Then, a chuckle rises from the ranks behind her. A voice, filled with amusement and anticipation. Heh! Finally, Varkas mutters, stepping forward. His body, now even more monstrous after his continuous training, radiates overwhelming bloodlust. His grin stretches wide, eyes locked onto Draven like a predator spotting its first real prey. I was starting to get bored. A hushed murmur spreads through the monster ranks. Then, recognition sets in. It's General Varkas! One monster exclaims, his voice filled with awe. General Varkas is a legendary Tier 5? Another gasps, disbelief quickly turning into exhilaration. The realization crashes over them like a wave. The atmosphere shifts instantly. What was once unease transforms into roaring confidence. General Varkas will tear that human apart. Soren watches as the morale of her troops skyrockets. The fear that Draven's presence had instilled is gone, replaced by sheer battle lust. Varkas, standing tall at the front, rolls his shoulders, letting out a low chuckle. That's right, he mutters, his crimson eyes gleaming. Remember whose soldiers you are. Soldiers of Erevaris knows no fear. The monsters behind him let out eager roars, pounding their weapons against the ground. On the other side of the battlefield, The human soldiers shift uneasily. Their commander, one of the noble captains, grits his teeth. What's with this reaction? They were afraid just a moment ago. Draven doesn't bother looking at the rattled soldiers below. His golden eyes remain locked onto Varka's, his smirk unwavering. Varka's tilts his head slightly, stepping forward. Are you alone? His voice is almost mocking, as if he finds the idea amusing. Draven chuckles, arms folding behind his back. You think I alone am not enough? His tone carries no arrogance, only certainty. For a brief moment, the battlefield is silent. Then, without warning, Varka's moves. A single step. A blur. The next thing anyone sees, Draven is no longer floating. He's hurtling downward. The soldiers, both human and monster, barely process what just happened. They didn't even see the punch. One moment, Varka's was standing still. The next, Draven's body is a meteor crashing toward the earth. A thunderous boom erupts as Draven slams into the ground, dust and debris exploding into the air. Cracks spiderweb through the earth, swallowing the unlucky human soldiers caught in the impact zone. The battlefield holds its breath. The monsters stare in awe. The humans stare in horror. The silence that follows is brief. Attack! Kill them all! One of the human commanders roars, snapping the stunned soldiers out of their daze. The human army surges forward like a tidal wave. Weapons raised, battle cries filling the air. The monsters, emboldened by Varka's overwhelming display, respond with their own thunderous roars and charge to meet them. At the same time, a silhouette shoots up from the shattered ground. Draven. His expression is no longer composed. His smirk is gone, replaced by a cold, seething anger. Blood drips from his forehead, but he pays it no mind. In his hands, a massive great sword materializes, gleaming with golden energy. You bastard! He growls, voice low and sharp. You dare humiliate me? Chapter 82. The Fight Between Tier 5 Part 2. Varka's only grins, his crimson eyes flashing with anticipation. Is that all it takes to piss you off? His stance is relaxed, but his muscles coil like a predator about to pounce. Draven doesn't answer with words, he answers with action. A boom erupts in the air as he propels himself forward, his great sword cleaving through the sky in a red arc. The sheer force of the swing sends a shockwave downward. It's like splitting the earth below. Varka's doesn't dodge. He meets it head-on. Clang. Varka's clawed hand slams against the flat of the blade, stopping it mid-swing. The impact alone sends out a concussive force that rattles both armies below, knocking weaker soldiers off their feet. Draven's eyes widen for a split second before he twists, activating Blazing Fang Slash, a Tier 3 sword technique. A second, fiery slash ignites from his blade, surging toward Varka's. Varka's growls and counters instantly. His claws glow with eerie, crimson energy as he swipes downward, Blood Rend, a Tier 3 lycanthrope technique. The air screeches as the blood-infused strike tears through the fire, splitting it in half. Draven is forced back, flipping mid-air to regain his balance. His expression darkens. TCH. Come on! Varka's taunts, cracking his neck. That can't be all, can it? Below, the battlefield has erupted into pure chaos. Human soldiers clash against monstrous warriors, spells and weapons tearing through flesh and steel alike. The ground is painted in blood, but the monsters are relentless. Soren watches with cold calculation, killing a human knight with a single, precise strike. Her gaze flicks upward to the two figures clashing above. Her hands gripping the cold stone of the fortress wall. Her breath catches in her throat. She just can't believe what she is seeing. It's like two gods are fighting in the sky. The sheer power behind each clash is terrifying. Even the Tier 2 and Tier 3 skills they use no longer resemble what she knows. The way they manipulate the battlefield, the way the air bends around their movements, it's something beyond ordinary understanding. Draven vanishes from sight. No, he's moving too fast to follow. A golden streak of energy flashes through the air, and in an instant, he's right in front of Varka's, his great sword screaming toward the lycanthrope's chest. Cleaves, a tier 4 skill, but under Draven's control, it carries the force of something far beyond that rank. But Varkas laughs. Instead of dodging, he meets the attack head-on, raising his arm. His muscles bulge as dark energy surges through his veins. Ironhide Bestial Guard, a tier 4 defensive ability unique to high-level lycanthropes. The blade meets flesh. A deafening clang erupts, the impact sending shockwaves. Below, weaker soldiers, both human and monster, cover their ears, feeling as if they're being torn apart. Varkas grins, baring his fangs. Is that really all? Then, with a sudden burst of power, he slams his knee into Draven's ribs. A crunch echoes through the air. Draven is launched backward like a cannonball, but he regains control instantly, twisting midair and digging his sword into empty space. No, not empty. He's cutting the air itself, forcing himself to stop. A golden glow pulses from his weapon as he activates Storm Divider, a tier 4 technique that shreds anything in its path. The attack carves through the battlefield, splitting the very sky. But Varkas doesn't move. He watches. He waits. Then he lunges. Soren barely sees him move. One moment he's standing still and the next, boom! Varkas slams a fist straight into the incoming golden energy and destroys it. The power behind Draven's skill disintegrates against his sheer strength alone. Then, without pause, he swings his claws downward. Blood Reaver's Claw, a tier 4 lycanthrope skill, enhanced by his monstrous physique. A single swipe tears through the very air, a crimson arc of destruction racing toward Draven. Draven has no choice. He teleports. No, not teleport. His body flickers as he activates Skystep Mirage, a tier 3 movement skill that allows him to phase through reality for an instant. He barely evades the attack. The Crimson Slash continues downward, obliterating an entire section of the battlefield below. Human soldiers caught in the radius are gone. Their armor, weapons, everything erased in an instant. Draven reappears several meters away, panting. He wipes the blood from his mouth, eyes narrowing. I see now. Varkas cracks his knuckles, rolling his shoulders. Oh? You see what, exactly? Draven grins, though there's no humor in it. Only razor-sharp focus. You're the real thing. Varkas scoffs. Took you long enough to figure it out. Draven lifts his great sword, golden lightning crackling around his body. His expression is sharp, unwavering. I'll go all out now, he declares. The air itself shifts. The sky darkens, thick storm clouds spiraling above. The battlefield below grows silent as the unnatural pressure weighs on every soul present. Then boom! A deafening roar of thunder erupts, and an explosion radiates from Draven's body, engulfing him in an aura of raw, electrified power. This is his true strength. This is why he is called the Thunder God of Valgros. Divine Storm Ascendance, a tier 5 buff skill. His body glows like a deity descending upon the battlefield. Every inch of him surges with golden arcs of lightning, dancing like living serpents across his form. His movements become faster, his aura doubling in intensity. His great sword, now fully enveloped in lightning, hums with enough power to tear the sky apart. Even the monsters below feel it, pure, unrelenting power. Varkas, however, does not flinch. Ha! Now that's more like it. His grin widens, excitement flashing in his crimson eyes. He rolls his shoulders, his muscles tightening, his entire form exuding a wild, chaotic presence. Then his own energy surges. A deep, guttural growl reverberates through the air. Dark red energy erupts from his body, forming a towering aura of primal, bloodthirsty might. His already massive frame expands slightly, his claws lengthening, his fangs sharpening. His silver fur bristles, and his crimson eyes glow brighter than ever. Lunar Apex Frenzy, a tier 5 buff skill. Chapter 83. The Fight Between Tier 5 Part 3. The sheer force of his transformation sends a shockwave through the battlefield. The ground beneath him cracks. The wind howls. His presence alone is suffocating. But he holds back. He doesn't activate his second Tier 5 buff, the one granted by his bloodline. He doesn't want to frighten his enemy into running away. And then, they move. The sky explodes. Their clash creates a powerful shockwave. The wind roars as their figures blur, appearing and vanishing across the battlefield like flashes of lightning and crimson energy. Draven swings. His blade moves faster than the eye can follow. Varkas counters. His claws meet steel, sending arcs of golden lightning and crimson energy scattering into the stormy sky. Boom! A massive explosion erupts as their attacks collide, sending ripples across the battlefield. The ground quakes. The fortress walls tremble. Then Draven accelerates. He vanishes and reappears behind Varkas, his sword already mid-swing. A bolt of divine lightning descends from the sky, striking his blade at the moment of impact. Thunderous judgment. A Tier 4 skill amplified by his buff, turned into something beyond comprehension. The sheer force is enough to make the air itself wail. But Varkas twists at the last second. He dodges. But the attack still grazes his side, sending a shallow burning cut across his ribs. For the first time, blood spills from his body. Draven grins. Got you. Varkas chuckles. Not bad. Then he grabs Draven by the wrist. Before Draven can react, Varkas pulls, and slams his knee into his stomach. Crack. Draven's eyes widen as pain shoots through his core. Varkas doesn't stop. He pivots, using his full monstrous strength, and hurls Draven through the air like a meteor. The Valgro's warrior crashes into the battlefield below, carving a massive trench through human and monster alike before coming to a stop. Silence. Then Draven stands up. Lightning crackles around Draven's battered body as he straightens, his breathing ragged but his eyes burning with defiance. His armor is cracked, blood drips from his mouth, but he refuses to fall. Varkas watches him with something between amusement and admiration. You just don't know when to quit, do you? Draven wipes his mouth, smearing blood across his gauntlet. I don't lose. Not to monsters. His great sword pulses with divine energy, golden arcs crackling in the air. Varkas chuckles, shaking his head. You should have stayed down. The air shifts. The battlefield stills. Then it happens. Varkas raises his clawed hand, and a deep, guttural growl rumbles from his chest. His crimson eyes glow brighter, like twin embers burning in the darkness. The blood in his veins surges, and the energy radiating from him becomes suffocating. He is done playing. Let's end this, he murmurs. A pulse of dark crimson energy erupts from his body, expanding outward like a tidal wave. The battlefield trembles. The sky darkens, not with storm clouds, but with something deeper, something primal. Then his aura explodes. Sovereign Predators Howl, a Tier 5 skill. The sound is unlike anything ever heard before. It is not just a roar, it is a command, a decree from the apex predator of all living beings. It is the sound of absolute dominance. The moment it reaches Draven, his body freezes. Not by choice. His nerves fail. His muscles refuse to obey. His divine lightning flickers, struggling against the overwhelming force pressing down on him. His heartbeat stutters. His breath is stolen. His mind fractures. Draven's vision distorts. His consciousness wavers. He feels small, helpless. A rabbit caught in the gaze of a wolf. No, something worse. His mind screams at him to run, but his body won't move. Then Varkas vanishes. Before Draven can comprehend what's happening, a clawed hand grips his face and smashes him into the ground. The earth shatters. A crater erupts beneath them, debris exploding outward. The sheer force of the impact sends shockwaves across the battlefield. Draven tries to move. He can't. His vision flickers. His mind is slipping. No, he's not done. Another impact. Varkas slams him deeper into the ground. Draven's divine lightning sputters out. His aura crumbles. His eyes turn dull. His consciousness snaps. The battlefield is silent. Varkas watches as Draven's body twitches once, then goes completely limp. the once mighty thunder god of Valgros, the warrior who stood at the peak of the three kingdoms, died just like that. The battlefield stands frozen in stunned silence. The coalition soldiers, who had moments ago been rallying behind their strongest warrior, now watch in horror as Draven, their legend, their hope, lies motionless in the crater. Then chaos erupts. Sir Draven has fallen. A desperate scream breaks through the stillness. Retreat! Retreat! The coalition commanders don't hesitate. They've seen enough. If Draven couldn't win, no one could. Fall back. Get out of here. One of the knights yells, his voice raw with panic. The soldiers don't need to be told twice. The once organized ranks dissolve into madness as 14,000 human warriors turn and flee. Some drop their weapons in blind terror. Others push past their comrades in their desperation to escape the nightmare before them. But then Varkas hears his voice. Alex, kill as many as you can. A slow, wicked grin spreads across Varkas's face. His crimson eyes gleam with hunger as he straightens, rolling his shoulders. As you wish, your majesty. He murmurs, his voice dripping with amusement. Then he moves. A blur of crimson streaks across the battlefield. Varkas tears into the retreating army, his claws slashing through steel and flesh alike. Screams rise into the air as bodies are ripped apart, armor proving useless against his monstrous strength. A knight tries to turn and fight. Varkas decapitates him with a single swipe. A mage casts a desperate spell. Varkas is already behind him, claws through his chest, ripping his heart out before he even finishes his chant. A group of spearmen rally together, hoping to slow him down. Varkas grins. Good effort. He lunges, Blood Reaver's claw. A crimson arc of destruction carves through them, bodies torn apart mid-flight. The survivors are sent sprawling, their formation shattered. He keeps going. Chapter 84. 3 Marshals of Valgros Kingdom. He leaps high, then descends, slamming into the ground like a meteor, the impact alone pulverizing a dozen soldiers beneath him. Blood and dust fill the air. More try to run. More fail. His claws carve through flesh. His fangs sink into throats. Every movement is a blur of death, his speed and strength unmatched. Soldiers die in droves, their screams drowned beneath the relentless slaughter. But even with his power, even with his speed, he can't kill them all. They run, as fast as their broken bodies can carry them. And Varkas? He only laughs. By the time the last of the coalition soldiers vanish beyond the horizon, the battlefield is eerily quiet. The ground is soaked in blood, the air thick with the scent of death and burnt flesh. From the fortress walls, the soldiers watch in stunned silence. No one speaks. No one moves. Then, by the gods! Nasara finally breathes, her golden eyes wide with disbelief. General Varkas is amazing. She isn't the only one thinking it. Thurn crosses his massive arms, shaking his head slowly. Monstrous. That's the only word for him. Nasara turns to him, eyes still fixed on the battlefield. Do you think we could ever reach that kind of strength? Thurn snorts, glancing at her. Soren, maybe. You? 50-50 at best. Asterisk. Nasara glares at him in annoyance. Oh, shut up. Veltha, coiled nearby, hisses in amusement as she drinks a health potion. The torn scales along her serpentine body slowly mend, the potion's effects taking hold. I don't know, Thurn, she says, her voice smooth. Nasara might surprise us one day. Groth, still gripping his axe, exhales deeply. If we all push ourselves, if we never give up. His sharp red eyes flick toward the horizon, where the last remnants of the human army are fleeing for their lives. And with His Majesty's guidance, we'll all reach Tier 5. Soren, who has been silent, finally speaks. We have to. Her voice is quiet but firm, filled with conviction. If we want to stand beside His Majesty, we must become stronger. The group falls into silence, the weight of those words settling over them. They all know it. They've seen what true power looks like today. And now they crave it. The expensive glass shatters against the marble floor, its fragments scattering across the room. The crimson wine seeps into the cracks like spilled blood, but Darius barely notices. His hands tremble, his breathing ragged. This wasn't supposed to happen. He grips the armrest of his chair so tightly his knuckles turn white. His mind spins, replaying the words he just heard. The good news he had been waiting for, the victory he had all but secured, never arrived. Instead, why did this happen? Darius roars, his voice echoing through the lavish chamber. His body shakes with rage. His vision blurs with disbelief. Becoming crown prince was already within my reach. His father had promised him. If this campaign succeeded, if he brought victory to Valgros, then the throne would be his. His father had even assigned one of the kingdom's marshals to ensure his success. And yet, Draven dead. His voice cracks. That's impossible. There's no way he died to some nobody. He paces, his mind unraveling with every step. Draven, the thunder god of Valgros, the undefeated warlord, had fallen. Not in an epic battle against a rival champion, not against an army of equal might, but to a monster. A monster. Darius grips his hair, his breath coming in short, erratic gasps. No, there has to be another explanation. His eyes dart wildly, his thoughts latching onto a desperate theory. It must be the work of the Ordea kingdom. Yes, they must have interfered. There's no way. A monster killed Draven. His words are filled with hysteria, but he clings to them like a drowning man grasping at straws. He refuses to believe that some unknown beast, some nameless creature, had shattered his ambitions. His chest heaves, his heart pounds. Then his rage turns cold. His trembling stops. I won't accept this. His voice lowers, his eyes darkening with dangerous intent. I won't allow this setback to ruin me. His father will make him crown prince. The throne room is heavy with tension. The air is thick, suffocating, as King Rewalt sits upon his throne. His fingers tapping against the armrest in slow, measured movements. His expression is unreadable, but the fury simmering beneath the surface is undeniable. Before him, Darius kneels, his body stiff, his mind scrambling for the right words. Father, please listen. Darius's voice wavers slightly, but he forces himself to remain composed. This was not my failure. The Ordea kingdom. They must have interfered. He clenches his fists. Draven would never have fallen to some unknown monster. There must have been treachery. Slam. King Rewalt's fist crashes down upon the throne's armrest, the sound reverberating through the chamber like thunder. Enough. Darius flinches, his throat tightening. He dares to look up. His father's gaze is like steel, cold, merciless, and filled with disappointment. Darius. The king's voice is low, but the weight behind it is suffocating. You disappoint me. Darius's breath catches. Do you have any idea? Rewalt continues, his tone sharp as a blade. The magnitude of your failure? The loss of Draven is a huge loss. And you? Instead of taking responsibility, you stand before me spewing nonsense. It's not nonsense. Darius protests, his voice rising in desperation. There's no way Draven could have lost under normal circumstances. It had to be sabotage. Silence. The sheer force behind the king's command crushes Darius's words in his throat. King Rewalt leans forward, his presence overwhelming. Your mistake alone is enough for me to strip you of your right to fight for the throne. Do you understand that? His golden eyes burn with barely restrained fury. One more failure, Darius, and I will not be so lenient. Darius's breath quickens. He clenches his fists so tightly his nails dig into his palms. This isn't fair. This was never supposed to happen. But he knows better than to argue further. Lowering his head, he grits his teeth and forces the words out. I understand, Your Majesty. The king exhales slowly, leaning back against his throne. Good, because there will be no second mistake. Asterisk. Silence lingers between them. Then, with a wave of his hand, King Rewalt dismisses him. Leave. Asterisk. Darius rises stiffly, his legs feeling like lead as he turns and walks toward the massive doors of the throne room. After the doors fully close behind Darius, a deep voice finally breaks the silence. Your Majesty. Marshal Zinov, who has remained quiet throughout the exchange, finally speaks. His voice is calm, but there is a weight behind his words. King Rewalt rubs his temples, his patience already worn thin. What is it, Zinov? King Rewalt rubs his temples, his patience already worn thin. What is it, Zinov? Zinov steps forward, his crimson cape brushing against the polished floor. He is a man of few words, his expression unreadable beneath his silver-gray beard. The western border, Your Majesty. The region where Marshal Draven was stationed. He pauses briefly, allowing the words to settle. If we do not station another commander soon, the monsters from the crevice will start pouring into the kingdom. King Rewalt exhales sharply, his headache worsening. The Valgros kingdom has always been strong. Even with Draven's death, they still have more Tier 5 warriors than their rivals. The Ordea kingdom has only one. Ralthian? They don't even have a single Tier 5 combatant. And yet, strength alone is not enough. Each of his marshals has an irreplaceable duty. Draven had been guarding the western border, holding back the endless tide of monsters that emerged from the abyssal crevice. Without him, that cursed land would soon overflow, and no ordinary army could hold it back. Marshal Tezvin was stationed at the southeastern border, fending off the relentless barbarian tribes. No matter how many times Valgros crushed them, those savages always returned, as if the land itself bred them endlessly. Moving Tezvin would only shift one disaster onto another. That left only Zinov himself. The king's golden eyes settle on the seasoned marshal. Can you leave your post? Zinov shakes his head. I cannot. The capital's defenses are my duty. If I leave, the heart of the kingdom is exposed. Rewalt massages his forehead. Damn it! For the first time in years, Valgros is short on power. Losing a Tier 5 warrior was not just a blow, it was a crack in their foundation. A thought suddenly strikes Rewalt. His fingers stop drumming against the armrest as his eyes narrow in contemplation. What about General Rostri? He asks, his voice measured. He's already at the peak of Tier 4, level 499. Zinov considers the suggestion, stroking his beard. After a moment he nods. He should be able to handle it, Your Majesty. His tone is steady, confident. After all, no Tier 5 monsters have ever emerged from that crevice. As long as it stays that way, Rostri can maintain the defenses. Rewalt exhales slowly, some of the tension easing from his shoulders. Let's do that, then. But as he speaks, there is an undeniable trace of regret in his voice. He leans back against his throne, golden eyes dark with dissatisfaction. Too bad Rostri can't break through to Tier 5, he mutters. Even after everything we did to push him, he just couldn't. Zinov remains silent. There is nothing to say. Some warriors are born to transcend their limits. Others, no matter how talented, no matter how close they come, will never take that final step. Chapter 85. Aiden and Garan. And that is the difference between a general and a marshal. Zinov. His voice is low, serious. Do you think that monster came from another continent? Zinov's gaze flickers slightly, considering the possibility. He exhales through his nose, arms crossing over his broad chest. It might have, he admits. But it would be rare. Zinov nods. Yes, the stronger monsters, those that roam the great continents beyond ours, they have no reason to come here. This land holds nothing of value to them. No great treasures, no ancient artifacts, no resources worth fighting for. His eyes darken slightly. For one to appear now, it's strange. Rewalt's jaw tightens. He doesn't like unanswered questions. And right now there are too many. Keep an eye on this, Zinov, he orders. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with. Zinov inclines his head. As you command, Your Majesty. The conversation ends, but the unease lingers. Because if anyone from another continent has come to Valgros, then it came for a reason. The journey to the Ordea Kingdom's capital is smooth, the roads well-maintained and patrolled by disciplined soldiers. The kingdom isn't as militaristic as Valgros, but it is wealthier, its capital a testament to its prosperity. Alex and Grix ride through the outer districts, passing through bustling trade streets filled with merchants hawking goods from across the continent. Spices, silk, enchanted trinkets, things one would never find in Ralphian in such abundance. The people are well-dressed, the buildings sturdier, and the roads paved with fine stone rather than packed dirt. Their current disguises are simple but effective. Alex wears a reinforced leather coat over a dark tunic, with a long sword strapped to his waist. Grix, towering beside him, looks every bit the seasoned adventurer in his heavy, travel-worn armor. Though he carries no kingdom's insignia, the way he moves, sharp-eyed and ever-watchful, betrays his experience as a warrior. The two blend in well enough. Ordea's capital has no shortage of adventurers, and unlike in Valgros or Ralphian, where armies dominate military affairs, adventurers here hold real status. The kingdom relies on them heavily for subjugation missions, exploration, and even reinforcing their borders when needed. They make their way to the Adventurers Guild, a massive 3-story structure near the heart of the city. Its design is sturdy yet elegant, built of reinforced stone and polished wood. A large banner hangs over the entrance, bearing Ordea's guild emblem, a golden falcon clutching twin swords. The doors are wide open, and the lively sounds of conversation, clinking mugs, and sharpening steel spill onto the street. As they step inside, the scent of alcohol, ink, and sweat fills the air. The guild hall is bustling. Dozens of adventurers crowd the area, some gathered around the mission board, others seated at long wooden tables sharing drinks and stories of their exploits. Some wear enchanted gear, while others sport battle scars as badges of honor. Alex exhales, scanning the guild hall. Lively place, he mutters under his breath. They step further inside, weaving through the crowd. The adventurers here have a certain confidence, some from experience, others from sheer arrogance. Unlike in Ralphian, where adventurers are little more than mercenaries, or Valgros, where they are overshadowed by the military, Ordea treats them with respect. A few eyes linger on them, but most dismiss them quickly. New faces aren't uncommon here. Alex approaches the long wooden counter where several guild receptionists are stationed, managing the constant flow of requests and reports. A young woman with chestnut-colored hair and sharp green eyes greets him with a professional smile. Welcome to the Ordea Adventurers Guild. Here to take a request? Or are you looking to register? Register, Alex says smoothly. My partner and I just arrived in the capital. She nods, already pulling out a parchment form. Got it. First-time registration requires a basic assessment. Name and background. Alex doesn't hesitate. Aiden Vale, swordsman, former mercenary. Grix, standing beside him, crosses his arms. Garran, heavy combat specialist. The receptionist gives them both an appraising look. Experience. Alex offers a relaxed shrug. A few years in the field. Nothing fancy, but we get the job done. She hums in thought before handing them the parchment. Fill this out. After that, you'll need to complete an evaluation with one of our guild examiners. Standard procedure. Nothing too difficult unless you're trying for a high rank right away. Attain a high rank. The receptionist smiles, clearly accustomed to such questions. It's simple. To rank up, you need to defeat a beast corresponding to the rank you're aiming for. Our ranks are structured as follows. Bronze for Tier 1, Iron for Tier 2, Silver for Tier 3, Gold for Tier 4, and Adamantite for Tier 5. But first, we need to evaluate your current levels. She gestures to a side door. If you'll follow me, we'll begin with your assessments. They follow her into a smaller chamber adjacent to the main hall. The room is sparsely furnished, dominated by a large, intricate crystal mounted on a pedestal, the guild's appraisal artifact. The receptionist motions to Grix. Garan, if you would, please place your hand on the crystal. It will read your current level and abilities. Grix steps forward, placing his hand on the cool surface. The crystal pulses with light, emitting a soft hum. After a moment, the light dims, and the receptionist consults a nearby gauge. Her eyes widen slightly. Level 347. Impressive. It's rare to see someone of Tier 3 strength registering for the first time. Grix nods curtly, stepping back to allow Alex his turn. The receptionist turns her attention to Alex. Aiden, your turn. Alex steps forward, placing his hand on the crystal. It reacts similarly, glowing softly before dimming. The receptionist checks the gauge again. Alex places his hand on the crystal, which emits a soft glow before dimming. The receptionist checks the gauge and her eyes widen in shock. Level 400, she murmurs, astonished. Tier 4 adventurers are highly valued in the Ordea Kingdom. Such individuals often receive invitations from nobles and even the royal family to work for them. While some accept these offers, many prefer the independence of adventuring. She assumes Alex has recently broken through to Tier 4, given his current level. Chapter 86. Become an adventurer. Regaining her composure, she addresses Alex with newfound respect. Sir, which rank are you aiming for? Alex meets her gaze steadily. Gold rank would be ideal. The receptionist internally balks at his ambition, considering it audacious for someone who likely just reached Tier 4 to aim for gold rank immediately. However, maintaining professionalism, she replies, Sir, you'll need to wait a bit longer. Additionally, the guild master will personally oversee your evaluation. Alex nods, unfazed. Understood. We'll await further instructions. The receptionist gestures to a seating area. Please make yourselves comfortable. We'll notify you once everything is prepared. As Alex and Grix move to the designated area, they notice several adventurers casting curious glances their way, undoubtedly intrigued. Shortly after Alex and Grix take their seats, a hush falls over the bustling guild hall. Conversations cease, and all eyes turn toward the entrance as a tall, imposing figure steps inside. It's the guild master, a man whose rare appearances are typically reserved for significant missions or the evaluation of gold rank aspirants. The adventurers exchange astonished glances, their gazes inevitably drifting toward the two newcomers. The guild master strides purposefully toward Alex and Grix, his presence commanding respect. He stops before them, his eyes assessing. You're the ones aiming for gold rank? He asks, his voice deep and authoritative. Alex rises, meeting the guild master's gaze without hesitation. Yes, I'm Aiden Vale and this is Garan. The guild master nods slowly, his expression unreadable. A level 400 swordsman and a level 347 heavy combat specialist. Impressive. Grix inclines his head slightly. We've faced our share of challenges. Murmurs ripple through the gathered adventurers, disbelief evident in their whispers. Level 400? So that's why the guild master is here. Very well, he says. We'll proceed with your evaluation. Follow me. As they move toward the assessment chambers, the weight of the guild's collective gaze follows them. A mix of curiosity, skepticism, and awe. After the guild master's arrival, Alex and Grix are escorted to a secluded evaluation chamber, ensuring the assessments remain confidential. The room is spacious, its stone walls bearing the marks of countless trials. At its center lies a reinforced arena, designed to contain formidable beasts. The guild master addresses them with authority. Your evaluations will be conducted individually. Garan, you're up first. Grix nods, stepping into the arena with a composed demeanor. Moments later, a gate opposite him rises, revealing a Tier 3 beast. A hulking creature with matted fur and razor-sharp claws, its eyes gleaming with primal aggression. The beast charges and Grix meets its assault head-on. He parries its swipes with his greatsword, each clash echoing through the chamber. To the untrained eye, it appears as a fierce struggle. Grix staggers under the beast's blows, his movements seemingly labored. Yet, Beneath this facade, he's meticulously controlling the fight, ensuring he neither overpowers the creature too swiftly nor exposes his true prowess. After a tense exchange, Grix delivers a decisive strike, his blade finding the beast's vital point. The creature collapses with a pained roar, and Grix stands over it, breathing heavily as if exhausted. The guild master observes keenly, noting Grix's performance. "Well fought, Garan. You may step down." Grix exits the arena, offering Alex a subtle nod. Alex acknowledges it before stepping forward. The guild master turns his attention to Alex. "Aiden, your trial awaits. As per our protocol, you'll face a beast 20 levels higher than you levels, a level 420 adversary." Alex inclines his head. He enters the arena, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. The gate creaks open once more, and a massive creature emerges. A serpentine beast with scales that shimmer like obsidian, its eyes burning with malevolent intelligence. The air crackles with energy as it hisses, revealing fangs dripping with venom. Without hesitation, the beast lunges, its movements a blur. Alex sidesteps gracefully, his sword already in motion. The clash is explosive. Sparks fly as blade meets scale. Alex remains composed, his attacks precise, each movement calculated to exploit the creature's weaknesses. The beast retaliates fiercely, its tail whipping around to strike. Alex anticipates the move, ducking under the swing and countering with an upward slash that leaves a deep gash along the creature's side. The beast recoils, hissing in fury, and circles Alex, searching for an opening. Alex tightens his grip on his weapon. He decided to end this swiftly. Drawing upon his inner reserves, he channels his energy, feeling the familiar hum of power coursing through him. With a deep breath, Alex raises his sword high, the blade crackling as arcs of electricity dance along its edge. "Thunder strike!" he calls out, his voice echoing through the chamber. He brings the sword down in a powerful arc, releasing a bolt of lightning that sears through the air, illuminating the room in a blinding flash. The lightning strikes the beast squarely, eliciting a deafening roar as the creature convulses, its muscles seizing under the electric assault. Smoke rises from its scorched scales, and for a moment, it teeters, its strength waning. Seizing the opportunity, Alex dashes forward, his movements a blur. He leaps into the air, bringing his sword down. The blade pierces the beast's skull, driving deep into its brain. The creature shudders once, then collapses to the ground, lifeless. Alex withdraws his sword. He watches as the beast's form begins to shimmer, its edges blurring. Within moments, the creature dissipates, vanishing like a mirage. The guild master steps forward, his expression unreadable. "Well done, Aiden," he says, his tone measured. "You've proven your skill against a formidable opponent." Alex nods. "Thank you, sir." The guild master gestures toward the now empty arena. "As you may have noticed, the beast you faced was an illusion, conjured through advanced magic. We reserve real Tier 4 creatures for only the most critical evaluations, as they are rare and dangerous. Your performance against this simulated foe has been duly noted." Alex inclines his head in acknowledgement. "I understand." The guild master turns to address both Alex and Grix. "Based on your performances, Garan I will grant you a silver rank, and Aiden I will grant you the gold rank. However, be aware that this status comes with increased responsibilities and expectations. The challenges you will face henceforth will be perilous, and your conduct will reflect upon this guild."
Chapter 87 Gold Rank Quest.
Alex steps forward, his expression solemn. "We accept these terms and will uphold the honor of the guild." The guild master nods approvingly. "Very well. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild." After completing his evaluation, Alex approaches the guild's quest board, scanning the various postings. One particular notice catches his eye, a special request from the royal family. The quest details a mission to eliminate an unknown entity that has been terrorizing nearby villages, having already destroyed 2 villages. The description also notes that 2 gold rank adventurers have perished attempting this task. Intrigued and undeterred, Alex removes the notice from the board and approaches the receptionist's desk. "Excuse me," Alex begins, placing the quest notice on the counter. "I'd like to accept this mission." The receptionist glances at the notice, her eyes widening in surprise. "Sir, this quest is exceptionally perilous. Even seasoned gold-rank adventurers have." "I understand the risks," Alex interjects calmly. The receptionist hesitates, concern evident in her expression. "But, sir, at level 400 this mission," Alex offers a reassuring smile. "I appreciate your concern. However, I am confident in my abilities." After a moment's pause, the receptionist nods reluctantly. "Very well, sir. Please exercise extreme caution." "Thank you," Alex replies, accepting the quest documentation. Alex and Grix arrive at the devastated village, the stench of death heavy in the air. Bodies lie scattered, many gruesomely mutilated. Ravenous beasts, drawn by the carnage, scavenge the remains. Alex surveys the scene, his expression stoic. "Stay alert, Grix. We need to understand what did this." Grix nods, his hand resting on his weapon. "Understood, Your Majesty." They move through the village, noting the deep, clean lacerations on the victims. Some bodies are sliced into pieces, limbs severed with precision. Alex kneels beside a fallen villager, examining the wound. "These cuts, they're too precise for beasts. This was done by something or someone with skill." Grix scans the surroundings, his posture tense. "Could it be bandits?" Alex shakes his head. "Unlikely. Bandits wouldn't leave such clean wounds, nor would they decimate an entire village without taking valuables." He stands and approaches a nearby wall, where deep gashes mar the surface. The marks are uniform as if made by a blade. Grix observes the cuts. "Those resemble sword strikes." Alex nods thoughtfully. "Yes, and the strength required to cut through stone." Grix furrows his brow. "Your Majesty, perhaps a beast or monster with blade-like appendages?" Alex and Grix proceed cautiously, following the trail of destruction deeper into the forest. The signs of battle become more pronounced. Trees cleaved in half, scorch marks searing the ground, and remnants of weapons scattered about. "These signs," Grix observes, his voice low, "they suggest a fierce confrontation." Alex nods, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "Yes, and recent. The previous gold-rank adventurers must have fought valiantly." They continue until they reach the mouth of a cavern, its entrance partially obscured by overgrown foliage. The air is thick with an acrid scent, a mix of blood and something else, something unnatural. "This must be where the battle concluded," Alex states, his tone measured. Grix tightens his grip on his weapon. "I will lead the way, Your Majesty." Alex and Grix proceed into the cavern, the air growing cooler with each step. Grix raises his hand, summoning a luminous orb that bathes the cavern in bright light, dispelling the shadows around them. The passage narrows before opening into a larger chamber, where they spot a slumbering figure. The monster lies curled on the cold stone floor, its form both familiar and strange. Long, rabbit-like ears twitch occasionally atop a feline face, and beside it rests a katana, its blade gleaming even in the dim light. Alex narrows his eyes, whispering, "This monster, it seems familiar." At the sound of his voice, the monster's eyes snap open, revealing a bloodshot gaze filled with fury. It scrambles to its feet, clutching the katana, and snarls, "Monsters! I'll kill you all." With a guttural cry, the monster lunges at them, katana slicing through the air. Grix steps forward, raising his sword to parry the blow effortlessly. The clash of metal echoes through the cavern. Seizing the moment, Grix delivers a swift kick to the creature's midsection, sending it crashing into the cavern wall. The creature slumps to the ground, dazed but still conscious. Alex raises a hand, signaling Grix to halt. His eyes narrow as he focuses on the creature before them. Through his system interface, he identifies the being's race, Legomian, the same as Lys and Nikon. Recognizing this, Alex deactivates his human disguise, revealing his true monstrous form. "You are a Legomian," Alex states, his voice calm yet commanding. The Legomian blinks in confusion, his red eyes flickering between Alex and Grix. He watches as the human forms before him shift, Grix transforming into a formidable lizard man, and Alex into an indistinguishable yet awe-inspiring entity. An overwhelming aura emanates from Alex, compelling the Legomian to feel an instinctual urge to submit. Struggling against the sensation, the Legomian grips his katana tighter, his voice strained. "Monsters! Leave. I only want to kill humans." Observing the Legomian's unstable state, Alex concludes that reasoning is futile. He turns to Grix and nods. "Render him unconscious." As a Tier 5 being, Grix easily subdues the Tier 4 Legomian. With swift precision, he strikes a pressure point, and the Legomian collapses, his katana clattering to the ground beside him. Alex approaches the unconscious Legomian, his expression contemplative. Activating his system interface, he examines the Legomian's status and discovers an ominous contract, a pact with the god of war. This agreement grants the individual double their original strength, but at a dire cost. They lose all rationality and are compelled to kill 15 people daily. Failure to meet this quota results in immediate death. Alex's brow furrows as he absorbs this information. The concept of deities influencing mortals through such perilous contracts unsettles him. He ponders silently, are there truly gods in this world? If so, how formidable are they? Shaking off these thoughts, he refocuses on the immediate situation. Chapter 88. Sumbras City. Alex kneels beside the unconscious Legomian, his gaze fixed on the afflicted warrior. From within his inventory, he retrieves the Magnius Spellbound Crystal, a rare artifact capable of casting a Tier 8 severing spell. He hesitates, knowing that the crystal holds limited charges, and he has already used it twice. This spell can break any contracts, Alex murmurs to himself. But with only 2 uses remaining, I must be judicious. With a determined expression, Alex positions the crystal above the Legomian and activates the crystal. Alex kneels beside the unconscious Legomian, retrieving the Magnius Spellbound Crystal from his inventory. He hesitates momentarily, but resolves to proceed. Positioning the crystal above the Legomian's chest, he channels its energy toward the contract's seal. The crystal emits a soft glow, and after a tense moment, the contract shatters like glass. The Legomian stirs, his eyes fluttering open. "Who are you?" he murmurs, confusion evident in his gaze. Grix steps forward, his voice firm. "This is His Majesty, the ruler of all monster clans, so you better behave yourself." Alex raises an eyebrow at Grix's introduction, thinking, well, technically, I am a ruler of many monster races, but I wouldn't claim to rule all races. He focuses on the Legomian. "What is your name?" Alex asks gently. The Legomian blinks, gathering his thoughts. I'm called Burko." Alex observes as Burko's eyes flutter open. The violent energy that once consumed him now dissipated. "Do you know why I saved you?" Alex inquires, his tone measured. "I even went so far as to sever your contract." Burko, still processing his newfound clarity, feels the absence of the oppressive force that once dictated his actions. He can't help but marvel at the strength required to destroy such a binding agreement. Respectfully, he responds, "Thank you, sir, for saving my life. But I must ask, why did you save me?" Alex's expression softens slightly. "In my kingdom, 2 Legomian children have been adopted by one of my subordinates." Burko's eyes widen with a mix of hope and urgency. "Sir, please, allow me to see these Legomians. I've been searching for my tribesmates for years." Alex meets Burko's gaze steadily. "If you wish to see them, it's simple. Become my subordinate and swear your loyalty to me." Without hesitation, Burko kneels, bowing his head. "I swear my loyalty to you, your majesty. Thank you for this opportunity." Alex nods approvingly. "Rise then. For now, you'll need to blend in among humans." He retrieves a small, ornate amulet from his belongings and hands it to Burko. This item will disguise you as a human. Wear it at all times when among them. Burko accepts the amulet, slipping it over his head. Instantly, his Legomian features transform into those of a typical human. He flexes his fingers, marveling at the illusion. Alex and Grix also revert to their human disguises. Alex turns to Burko, his demeanor businesslike. We must return to the Adventurers Guild. Unfortunately, we'll report this mission as a failure. Your Majesty, Burko begins respectfully. We might not need to report this mission as a failure. There's a Tier 4 mantis-like beast's corpse here. Perhaps we can present this as proof of the threat's elimination. Alex's eyes follow Burko's gesture to the creature's remains. A slow smile spreads across his face. Excellent idea, Burko, Alex replies, nodding appreciatively. This way, my first quest won't end in failure. Grix steps forward, examining the beast's carcass. It appears formidable enough to account for the village's destruction, he observes. Alex turns to his companions. Let's prepare the evidence and return to the Adventurers Guild. With this, our mission is complete. Upon returning to the Adventurers Guild, Alex approaches the reception desk, where the receptionist's eyes widen in surprise. She had harbored doubts about his survival. Sir Aiden, she begins hesitantly, are you here to report the failure of your quest? Her words trail off as Burko steps forward, unshouldering the large, wrapped bundle he has been carrying. With a swift motion, he unveils the carcass of the mantis-like beast, its formidable form drawing gasps from those nearby. One of the adventurers seated nearby stands abruptly, pointing at the creature. That beast is a Tier 4 beast. As Alex presents the carcass of the Tier 4 mantis-like beast at the Adventurers Guild, a hush falls over the room. Adventurers and staff alike are visibly astonished, especially considering that 2 gold-rank adventurers had previously failed to complete this quest. One of them, a veteran at level 434, had even lost his life attempting to subdue the creature. The receptionist, regaining her composure, addresses Alex with newfound respect. Sir Aiden, your accomplishment is truly remarkable. This quest had escalated from silver to gold rank due to its difficulty, and many feared it would soon require adamantite-level intervention. Murmurs ripple through the guild hall as adventurers discuss the implications. I heard they were considering assigning this as a special quest, one whispers. With only 1 adamantite groups in the kingdom, it's fortunate Sir Aiden succeeded when he did, another adds. Alex acknowledges the receptionist's commendation with a modest nod. The threat has been neutralized, and the villages can now begin to rebuild in safety. As word of Alex's success spreads, the atmosphere in the guild shifts from one of tension to relief and celebration. Adventurers approach to congratulate him, inspired by his achievement and the restoration of safety to their realm. As Alex, Grix, and Burko leave the Adventurers Guild in the city of Sumbrast, the weight of recent events hangs heavy in the air. Burko walks a step behind Alex, his thoughts turbulent. Under the influence of the contract, he had unleashed destruction upon multiple villages. Yet, even now, free from its binds, he feels no remorse for the humans who suffered, his hatred for them deeply rooted in the atrocities they committed against his tribesmates. The trio arrives at the Silver Chalice Inn, a modest establishment known for its discreet clientele. As they enter, the innkeeper, a stout woman with graying hair, looks up and offers a welcoming smile. Chapter 89, Temple of the War God. Welcome, good sir, she greets Alex warmly. Will you be needing rooms for your companions as well? Alex nods. Yes, please, 3 rooms for the night. As the innkeeper hands over the keys, she leans in slightly, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. You must be Sir Aiden. Word travels fast in Sumbrast. They say you single-handedly took down a Tier 4 beast that's been terrorizing the villages. Alex offers a modest smile. News does seem to have wings in this city. The innkeeper chuckles. Indeed. If you need anything, just let me know. As they make their way to their rooms, Grix glances at Alex, a smirk playing on his lips. Your Majesty, it seems like you're the talk of Sumbrast now. Alex sighs softly. Fame is a double-edged sword. Let's hope it doesn't draw unwanted attention. Burko, silent until now, speaks up, his voice tinged with bitterness. Humans celebrate the death of a beast, yet they are blind to the monsters among their own kind. Alex pauses, turning to face Burko. Hatred is a heavy burden to carry. Burko, not all humans are the same. Burko's eyes harden. Perhaps. But forgiveness doesn't come easily when one's kin have suffered. After settling into their rooms at the Silver Chalice Inn, Alex invites Burko to join him in his quarters. The room is modest but comfortable. Grix, sensing the need for a private conversation, excuses himself. Alex gestures to a chair opposite him. Please sit. I'd like to understand how you came to be bound by the war god contract. Burko settles into the chair, his expression somber. After the humans attacked our home, I managed to flee. He begins, his voice heavy with emotion. But surviving when my family and tribesmates perished or getting abducted filled me with unbearable guilt. He pauses, collecting his thoughts. I wandered aimlessly through the forest, lost in my grief. Days, perhaps weeks passed. Time had little meaning. Then, I stumbled upon an ancient altar, overgrown and forgotten. The inscription read God of War. Burko continues, his voice tinged with reverence. Beside the altar, I discovered a Tier 4 skill book. Its pages seemed to pulse with power, and I felt an inexplicable pull to read it. Alex leans forward, curiosity piqued. A Tier 4 skills book? That's a rare find. Did you read it? Burko nods slowly. Yes, I did. As I absorbed its knowledge, I felt a surge of strength and clarity. It was as if the book unlocked potential I never knew I had, elevating me to a Tier 4 warrior. Alex considers this, tapping his fingers thoughtfully. And the altar? Did it have any other significance? Burko's expression darkens. In my grief and desire for vengeance, I made a vow before it, seeking the strength to avenge my fallen kin. Alex's eyes narrow slightly. And that's when the contract bound you? Burko sighs, a hint of regret in his eyes. Yes. Unbeknownst to me, my vow forged a contract with the god of war. It granted me immense power, but at the cost of my free will. I became an instrument of war, driven by an insatiable rage. Alex leans back, absorbing Burko's tale. It's fortunate we crossed paths then. With the contract severed, you have a chance to reclaim your destiny. Burko meets Alex's gaze, gratitude evident. I owe you my freedom, Your Majesty. I pledge to use my strength to serve you. Alex leans forward, his interest piqued. Do you remember where that altar is located? Burko nods. Yes, Your Majesty. I can lead you there. Alex's eyes narrow thoughtfully. Tomorrow we shall visit it together. Burko's expression reflects a mix of surprise and determination. As you command, Your Majesty. The following morning, as dawn's light filters through the forest canopy, Alex, Burko, and Grix set out toward the ancient altar. The forest is dense, with undergrowth that crunches beneath their boots and the distant calls of birds echoing through the trees. Burko leads the way, his movements confident yet cautious. After traversing the forest for several hours, they arrive at a clearing where the altar stands, partially reclaimed by nature. Vines drape over its weathered stone, and moss carpets its base. Alex approaches the altar, his gaze tracing the faint inscriptions that hint at its ancient purpose. He turns to Burko. This is where you found the Tier 4 skills book? Burko nods, his eyes reflecting memories of that pivotal moment. Yes, Your Majesty. Right here. Grix circles the altar, his keen eyes scanning the surroundings. This place, it feels like it's been untouched for centuries. Alex places a hand on the altar's surface, closing his eyes as if sensing the remnants of its power. There's a lingering energy here. It's faint, but present. Burko watches Alex, curiosity evident. What do you intend to do, Your Majesty? Alex opens his eyes, determination gleaming within them. I aim to understand the nature of this altar and the forces it once channeled. Such knowledge could prove invaluable. As dawn's light filters through the dense canopy, Alex, Burko, and Grix navigate the forest's undergrowth. Their senses heightened for any sign of the ancient altar. The forest is alive with the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves underfoot. Stay vigilant, Alex instructs, his eyes scanning the surroundings. Report anything unusual immediately. After some time, Burko halts, his gaze fixed on a section of overgrown foliage. Your Majesty, I believe I found something, he calls out, pointing to what appears to be a concealed door, its outline barely discernible beneath the vines. Alex and Grix exchange a glance, both sensing the faint hum of a defensive spell emanating from the hidden entrance. Before they can react, Burko steps closer, his hand reaching out to touch the door. Burko, wait, Alex warns, but Grix is already in motion. With a burst of speed, he uses his Tier 5 ability to position himself between Burko and the door in an instant. The defensive spell activates, releasing a surge of energy that strikes Grix. He grits his teeth, absorbing the impact, but a shallow cut appears on his cheek, a testament to the spell's potency. Chapter 90. Fire Golem. Burko's eyes widen in realization of the danger he narrowly avoided. Thank you, Sir Grix, he says, his voice filled with genuine gratitude. Grix nods, wiping the blood from his cheek. Be more cautious. Not all dangers are visible. Alex steps forward, examining the door and the remnants of the spell. This enchantment was designed to deter intruders. Alex approaches the concealed door, his eyes narrowing as he senses the remnants of a powerful defensive spell. Despite its deterioration over time, the enchantment still exudes an aura potent enough to harm even a Tier 5 individual. This must have been a Tier 6 spell. Alex muses aloud, his tone reflecting both admiration and caution. Though it's weakened over time, it's still formidable. Grix nods in agreement. Your Majesty, it's impressive that such an old spell retains this much power. Alex closes his eyes momentarily, accessing his inventory. He searches for an item capable of neutralizing or dispelling high-level enchantments. After a brief pause, he opens his eyes, a hint of satisfaction playing across his features. I have just the thing, he announces. Reaching into his cloak, he retrieves a small, intricately carved stone, the nullifying keystone. Burko's eyes lock onto the nullifying keystone. Though unfamiliar with such an item, he's astounded that Alex possesses an item capable of dismantling a powerful enchantment. This is the nullifying keystone, Alex explains, holding the intricately carved stone aloft. It's designed to neutralize enchantments. Alex steps closer to the concealed door, the keystone in hand. Stand back. Once activated, the keystone will emit a field that disrupts magical energies. Burko and Grix retreat a few paces, watching intently. Alex presses the keystone against the door's surface, and the stone begins to glow softly. A low hum fills the air as the keystone's energy interacts with the lingering enchantment. Moments later, the hum subsides, and the faint aura surrounding the door dissipates. Alex withdraws the keystone, now dimmed. The enchantment is nullified. We can proceed. Burko steps forward, his expression a mix of awe and gratitude. Your resourcefulness never ceases to amaze, Your Majesty. The ancient wood creaks open, revealing a spacious chamber bathed in an eerie, flickering light. The walls are adorned with faded murals depicting long-forgotten battles, and the air is thick with the scent of sulfur. Suddenly, the ground trembles. From the center of the chamber, molten rock begins to pool and rise, taking shape into a towering figure. A fire golem, its body ablaze with roaring flames. Its eyes, glowing like molten lava, fixate on the intruders. Intruders detected. Eliminate intruders. The golem's voice resonates, a deep rumble echoing through the chamber. Grix instinctively steps forward, hand on his weapon. Alex raises a hand, his expression resolute.
No, Grix.
This one's mine. He steps forward, eyes locked onto the fiery behemoth. Burko's eyes widen with concern. But, Your Majesty, that's a Tier 5 golem. Your current strength is at Tier 4. This could be perilous. A determined smile tugs at Alex's lips. Precisely. It's time to test my mettle against a true adversary. Titan strength. Muscles bulge as immense power courses through him. Celestial agility. His form becomes a blur, movements swift and precise. Adamantine skin. A metallic sheen envelopes his body, enhancing his defenses. Arcane surge. His mana reserves swell, amplifying his magical prowess. Phantom reflex. His senses heighten, anticipating the golem's every move. Eagle's eye. Vision sharpens, focusing on the golem's vulnerabilities. Shadow step. His steps become light, allowing for unparalleled mobility.
Warrioress Resolve, Stamina replenish rapidly, ensuring sustained combat.
Stormborn affinity. Lightning crackles around him, infusing his attacks with electric energy. Infernal wrath. Flames dance along his blade, increasing its destructive potential. Glacial endurance. An inner cold stabilizes his core, granting resistance to extreme heat. The amalgamation of these buffs causes Alex to radiate a brilliant light, his presence both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Burko watches in astonishment, his earlier concern morphing into admiration. 11 Tier 4 buffs. Incredible. Grix, usually stoic, allows a smirk. Even with His Majesty's full strength sealed, he's still as impressive as ever. The fire golem roars, molten fists crashing down toward Alex. But with Rift Step, Alex vanishes, reappearing behind the golem. His blade, now imbued with infernal wrath, slices through the air. Blazing arc. A fiery crescent cleaves into the golem's molten form, sending embers flying. The golem staggers but retaliates with a sweeping, flaming arm. Alex counters with glacial spikes, summoning icy protrusions from the ground that intercept the attack, steam hissing as fire meets ice. Seizing the moment, Alex channels Thunder Chain, lightning arcing from his blade to the golem, causing its fiery form to convulse. He follows up with Phantom Blade, his sword striking with such speed that it becomes a blur, slicing through the golem's defenses. The fire golem's molten eyes narrow, recognizing the formidable opponent before it. With a guttural roar, it charges, each step leaving scorched imprints on the stone floor. Drawing upon his vast repertoire of skills, Alex initiates his assault. Spectral onslaught, he commands, his blade phased